I spoke about this a couple days ago in one of my other podcasts about Bari Weiss being picked to run all of news at CBS. She has absolutely no business doing that job. She doesn't have any experience at doing that job. She started off her life she started off her career, I should say, as a college Karen, where she would go and tattletale on professors at her college that showed any signs of being sympathetic to Palestinian people or saying anything aggressive or even moderately critical of Israel. And she would go to the higher ups at the college to get them fired. You know, that whole cancel culture that nobody likes, but she started doing that shit. Then she worked her way into, I believe, writing for, I think it was the Washington Post, but she also worked for the New York Times. And she worked there for a while as a DEI hire. I'm not saying that. She literally said that herself in an interview. She said that she was a sort of DEI hire, so they could seem like they were fair and balanced. Look, we have conservative people that write for our opinion page in the New York Times, and that is what she did. She kept submitting articles that were more and more Israel-coded, anti-Palestinian, very right-wing, very Federalist Society, very free market capitalism, stuff that you would not normally think of in the old gray lady. So she kept submitting articles and they kept publishing them. And she got more and more conservative with each article, hoping that she could get fired so she could start a new career as a professional victim. Oh my God, the New York Times, they fired me for my opinions. Well, guess what? The New York Times never fired her. So she tried for a while until she just decided that she would quit. And when she did quit, she still played the victim card, saying that they were so difficult on me. It's like, but they published all of your shit. Why were they difficult on you? Why are you saying that they were difficult if they were basically giving you carte blanche to write whatever the fuck you wanted to? So all of that was horseshit. Also, another little bit of backstory. She started a small college. I believe it was, the name of the college was like Liberty University. And she had some angel funders, billionaire types like Harlan Crow, who happened to be Clarence Thomas's sugar daddy. Great, awesome. To show you the kind of people that are investing in this. It's very libertarian kind of college. And that didn't do so well, didn't get a whole lot of enrollments, and it didn't really work very well. So she started this thing called the Free Press, a news source that she thought we desperately needed more libertarian news. I've watched a handful of them and they're not very good. She doesn't have a lot of charisma. Her other hosts don't have a lot of charisma. And it's just basically a sop for wealthy billionaire types to throw money at. She wasn't getting a lot of views. I mean, on average, she's getting like 5,000 to 7,000 views per video, which for somebody like me would be a big number. But for somebody like her, having been in the biz for as long as she has, it's pretty goddamn low and minuscule. A lot of the people that I watch on YouTube get 50, 100,000 views per video, and they are like moderately sized. Whereas she, who has all of the billionaire backers in the world and has the name recognition having written for the New York Times, she doesn't get a lot of views because she's not very good. And the stuff that she talks about is not very interesting. It's just more of the same. We need tax cuts and deregulation and yada, yada. Anyway, I give you this whole preamble so I could show you this. The Free Press was acquired by Larry Ellison and his son David Ellison in that Paramount Skydance merger, and they acquired the Free Press for $150 million. $150 million for a pretty lackluster, mediocre podcast. They needed to buy it off so they could bring her in to CBS to head up all of news for CBS. So all of those great programs that you used to watch on 60 Minutes, don't expect that shit anymore. She's going to put the kibosh on that. Now, I don't know how long she's going to stay in this position, but I am here to tell you that she is not going to do real news. She's going to toe the company line and toe the line of Larry and David Ellison, who are big Donald Trump fans and big Donald Trump donors. But they bought her site for $150 million. Talk about a fucking payday. Let's move on a little bit here. This is a little segment about it. Paramount acquires Bari Weiss, this is Free Press, names her top editor of CBS News. She's my age, running CBS News. She's got no business doing this shit. She's never done anything like this before. She's not a veteran. I mean, this is a place where Mike Wallace earned his chops. And here she is just being given this. Here, make news.
Made Bari Weiss editor-in-chief of CBS News and acquired her online news and commentary organization, the Free Press. Weiss, who attended Columbia University, is a Pittsburgh native who now lives in New York. The Wall Street Journal writing she's known for her outspoken support of Israel and strong takes on polarizing topics, including gun rights, diversity, and inclusion programs, American higher education, and President Trump. She's a registered independent who at one point called herself politically homeless, unrepresented.
While she wrote for the New York Times. Get the fuck out of here. You're not a victim. You are not a victim.
By the two main U.S. parties. Joining me tonight to break this down and what this appointment means is Oliver Darcy. He's a media reporter and author of the Status newsletter and GOP.
Dude, that smile, you're freaking me out, man.
Strategist Matt Gorman. We thank you both for being here. Oliver, this is your bread and butter. I'm going to start with you, right? Bari Weiss has very little experience in broadcast TV. She's now working with CBS News President Tom Zebrowski, who I do want to say I've worked with in the past and who is a great news manager. He has a long pedigree in broadcast news. Who's actually going to be calling the shots here?
I think that remains to be seen, but Bari Weiss is taking a very prominent editorial role. She's going to be editor-in-chief, which suggests that all of the editorial will ultimately report to her. And I think if you're a CBS News journalist, you are at the very least anxious today, given what Bari Weiss stands for. I mean, she is someone, as you referred to there, as has taken a lot of polarizing views, to say the least. She's anti-woke, anti-DEI.
Yet she called herself a DEI hire at the New York Times. It's DEI is bad unless it's me, and then it's good.
She said today that the far left loathes America, which is quite the statement for someone who's editor-in-chief of CBS News to make. And so the question remains to be seen, how involved is she going to be? Is she going to be at 60 Minutes going over the editorial on a weekly basis, or is she going to be leading from further away? And we don't know that, and CBS News journalists still don't know that, and I think that's causing, at the very least, some unease tonight.
Yeah, you know, Matt, I want to ask you, I mean, you're somebody who you appear on nearly every broadcast network that I know of. You appear on cable as well. You're somebody who's well-versed in this industry as well. You're also somebody who works for the right. What is your take on all this?
A couple things. First of all, they needed to shake things up at CBS, right? They've been perennially in third place for much of their trademark newscast, whether it's evening news or the morning show.
Yeah, well, but 60 Minutes was very, very highly rated. So, yeah, and that was the one that Donald Trump had the biggest problem with because of the Kamala Harris interview where they took what she said and they edited it and made her sound better. And I listened to both versions and she didn't sound good in either one of them. Meanwhile, Fox News did an editing thing with Donald Trump when he was talking about releasing the Epstein files and he said, "Yes, I would." And then they cut the video. And then the very next sentence of Donald Trump was, "Well, maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. I mean, you know, there's a lot of innocent people in that file. We wouldn't want anybody to get in any trouble." But they edited that out. I guess Donald Trump doesn't have a problem with editing when it comes to him. Only when it came to Kamala Harris.
For a long time. They've also had a lot of churn before Tom, as you mentioned, at the top of their news division, as well as their anchor desks on several other programs. So they needed to do something differently, I think, to bring some advertising revenue in and bring some buzz in, candidly. And like, look, I don't know Bari, but she's built a successful project after the Free Press after leaving the New York.
It is not successful, honey. It is not. Even though they paid $150 million for it, it sure as shit isn't worth $150. I don't think it's worth $150,000, but whatever.
Times opinion page. I think the other thing is to look. there's been a thaw among CBS News and Republicans, right? And look, no good news organization can function if they don't have the trust, let's be honest, of both major political parties.
Oh, that's partisan news, honey. We don't want even-handed news. We want honest news. We want objective news. We don't want news that says this side says this side says this, you decide. No. We want this is the truth, this is the lie. Now you decide. That is honest news. That is objective news. We don't want this bipartisan, I don't really know the answer news, but this guy says that climate change isn't real and this guy says it is. I don't know. You guys figure it out, okay? Just to give you an idea of who this woman is. This is her speaking at the Federalist Society. And if you're not familiar with the Federalist Society, they are the ones that are responsible for basically picking all of the federal judges that Donald Trump puts in. And Donald Trump and co are usually pretty happy about it, that all of the 3 Supreme Court justices that Donald Trump put on the bench came directly from the Federalist Society. It is the mossy ground where all conservative young Republicans are grown and groomed into the judicial branch. And it has been a project since the 1970s to basically flood the judicial branch with nothing but conservative free market capitalist judges. Here she is speaking to them. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but Bari Weiss is a gay woman and she's openly gay, which, you know, more power to her. Got no problem with that. But she is speaking to a group of people that are notoriously not very kind to the LGBT community. They're not very gentle with liberal folk. Just to show you what kind of gay woman she is, let's have a little joke, to break the ice.
Of so many people before me right now. And in recognizing allies, I'll be an example right now. I'm a gay woman who is moderately pro-choice. I know that there are some people in this room who don't believe that my marriage should have been legal. And that's okay, because we're all Americans who want lower taxes.
They love her. They think she's great. By the way, what does moderately pro-choice mean? Either you're pro-choice or you're not. Moderately pro-choice? Would you be the kind of person that goes, not for you, but for you? You get to have choice and you don't get to have choice. What the fuck does that mean? Seriously, Bari, I hate to break it to Bari Weiss or conservative gay folk out there, but they don't like you either. They might come after us, the liberals, first, and you might be spared at the beginning, but eventually when we're all gone, they'll come after you too. It's like that old saying. First they came for the unions. I wasn't in a union, so I did nothing. Then they came for the communists. I wasn't a communist, so I did nothing. Then they came for the Jews. I wasn't Jewish, so I did nothing. And now they're coming for me, and there's nobody left to save me. Well, I say to all the log cabin Republicans and all the lesbian libertarians out there, you are on that list too. No matter how much you want to pretend like, no, I'm one of the good ones. Trust me, you are not. In their eyes, you are a means to an end. You are a useful idiot. You are a tool that they use to batter the left with until you cease to be useful, and then they will throw your ass under the bus too. Her having absolutely no experience and no journalistic integrity, Bari Weiss being put into this position it's unprecedented. It's pretty obvious why they picked her, because they want somebody who is going to be tender and gentle on the president, not be too critical of the president, because the new owners, Larry and David Ellison, they are here to make money, do big mergers, and get the approval of the president, who they donate tons and tons of money to. And Bari Weiss is here to toe the party line. Good luck, CBS. I have a feeling that you're going to be losing some viewership over this. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.